Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another Rookie Card Collector 123 video. In today's episode, we're going to take another look at some more Negro League and Winter League baseball memorabilia. Some of these items come from the U.S. Negro Leagues. Many of them come from Latin America during Winter Ball, including Cuba, Puerto Rico, Mexico, Venezuela, and the Dominican Republic. So we're working backwards from the mid 50s back to the turn of the century. Today's items we're going to show are going to be in the 1945 time frame. And as usual, we have several Hall of Famers pictured here in today's episode. So the first one we're going to look at is a 1946 Homestead Grays. It's got two ball players from the team, and then there's two gentlemen dressed in formal attire, probably presenting some type of award or something like that. This was at the tail end of the Grays dynasty, where Homestead won the Negro National League pennant from 1937 all the way through 1945, covering a 9 consecutive-year span. Buck Leonard is the highlight of this photo. He's pictured over here. The image is the exposure is a little bit light, so I'm not sure if you can make out his face or not. And the other player pictured is Roy Wellmaker, who was another 1945 Homestead Grays teammate on there. So this would have been from the U.S. Negro Leagues, and they're posed in front of it looks like the backstop fence inside a stadium. Okay, next one is going to be a in-action type of pose. This one's going to show Ray Dandridge sliding into a base. Dandridge is over here. It looks like sliding into third base, maybe. Third baseman trying to field a throw. Dandridge here is pictured in his Mexican League. It looks like Tampico uniform. Again, 1945. Dandridge was a Negro League Hall of Famer. I didn't mention previously, Buck Leonard, obviously also a Negro League Hall of Famer as well. So 1945, Ray Dandridge, Mexican League, Type 1 photo. Okay, next one we're going to look at is another Ray Dandridge. This is actually a very special photo. This is 1945 Cuban Winter League. This one's a portrait. It pictures him in his Marianao jersey and cap. This exact photo was used to produce the 1945 to 46 Caramello Deportivo Ray Dandridge rookie card. So same 45 Cuban Winter League season, Marianao. This image appears on Dandridge's Caramello rookie card. We're going to have a second one that also fits into that same description as well in a few minutes. Okay, next one up we have here is a 1945. This is the Kansas City Monarchs. This is Satchel Paige, about 3 years before his major league debut with the Cleveland Indians. He's pictured here autographing a baseball, it looks like. He's in the Kansas City Monarch uniform, which was the U.S. Negro Leagues. That was the team that Paige played primarily for during the 40s. Prior to that, in the 30s, he had played for the Homestead Grays and the Pittsburgh Crawfords, among several other Negro League teams, as well as spending many years playing winter ball in the off-season as well. So over here we have the second one of those matching items similar to the Ray Dandridge. This is Raymond Brown. And this is a Type 1 original photo, also Cuban League, 1945. This one pictures Brown in his Almendaris outfit uniform. And this is also the exact photo used for Ray Brown's 1945-46 Caramello Deportivo Cuban Winter League rookie card. So two really amazing images here, the Dandridge and the Brown, both part of that Caramello Deportivo set, and would be really great to own one of those someday. The last one, sorry, I missed one. The last photo we're going to look at here is a Mexican League 1945. The Mexican League seasons were typically in the summer as opposed to most of the other Latin American seasons, which were usually winter ball. So, Mexican League, these two teammates pictured with Yucatan. Um, the primary player pictured is Ramon Bragano, who was a prominent Negro League slugger during the 30s, 40s, and into the early 1950s. Also played a number of winter ball seasons in Cuba as well. So Yucatan, Mexico, 1945, Ramon Bragano. Okay, next one we're going to show. There's a couple of these scattered throughout the guide here in different spots. These are Negro League Baseball. It seems like awards dinners that maybe were postseason types of events that happened various times over the years. Usually the players are all dressed in formal attire. Here you've got, it looks like about 15 Negro Leaguers. Most of them were pretty prominent names. I'm going to read off the listing. I have the roster underneath here who's pictured. So we've got Lloyd Bassett, Chet Brewer, Piper Davis, Buster Haywood, Jesse Hubbard, Clyde Nelson, Jimmy Newberry, then Satchel Paige is the biggest one. Theo Lick Smith, Herb Sewell, Hank Thompson, who also played in the major leagues, Jesse Williams, and Wild Bill Wright. So this would have been a type 1 image. Everybody above their heads, I don't know if you can see it clear enough in the photo, everybody's identified in ink, handwritten above their head in the photo, who's who. So 1945 Negro League press photo, some sort of a dinner celebration event. Okay, next up is a really interesting item. This is a 1945 Mexican League postcard uncut sheet. I've never seen even a single one of these postcards individually, so these are extremely rare. Not sure if this sheet represents a set or if it's just part of a set. Lazaro Salazar, who's pictured over here on the side, is the biggest name pictured on there. Most of these guys played primarily just in Mexico, but there's a few that also played winter ball in Cuba and Latin America as well. So 1945 Mexican League postcard uncut sheet. Okay, next up we have a 1945 Marianao. This is a team image, and this was a premium. It was called Calcetines y Escarpines Casino. I assume that that's probably the entity responsible for producing this team premium, as it's labeled on top there. They did not only the Marianao team for 1945, but they also did other Cuban teams from that Winter League season as well. As usual, there was 4 Winter League clubs, and then I believe on the next page we're going to look at another one of the teams. But the 45 Marianao premium here includes two baseball Hall of Famers, Ray Dandridge and Minnie Minoso, as well as Lazaro Salazar, who I just mentioned from the previous item. Salazar was a great Cuban pitcher slash hitter, outfielder, excellent two-way player, one of the best in Cuban history. Played through the 30s and 40s, and spent some summers in the U.S. Negro leagues as well. Okay, next one we're going to look at is over here. This is a snapshot photo of two teammates. One of them is Julio Rojo, who's I'm pointing to there. Rojo was a top Negro League catcher in the early part of the 20th century. Began his career in the late teens and 20s and played into the 30s, and then he coached and managed well into the 40s and even into the early 50s, I believe. So Rojo was a very popular player in Cuba. Here he's pictured in a Mexican League image, not from Cuba, but also 1945. Julio Rojo there. And next to that is a very big, important image. This one is Jackie Robinson. This is from his one season in the Negro Leagues. We looked at a couple of Jackie images from 1945 in the last episode. So this is another Jackie image, 1945. This is basically a full-length portrait, almost. This one was a wire photo. I don't know if you can see in the image here, if it's too light, there's a caption at the bottom, which is from a wire transmission, the way the photo was sent. So wire photo, by definition, because it was transmitted, it does not show production from an original negative. It would have been a duplicate. And these would then become a type 3 photo as opposed to a type 1. The type 1 photo, original negative was used, and it was produced within 2 years of the photo being taken, 2 years of the image being taken. This image was produced in 1945, the same year that the picture was shot, the photograph was shot. But because it's a wire transmission, it's not an original negative, so it then becomes a type 3 as opposed to a type 1. But either way, extremely rare. Jackie Robinson, original image, 1945. He's pictured with the Kansas City Monarchs. That season, the jersey had a big K and a big C on it to represent Kansas City. Most of the other seasons, the Monarchs jersey just read Monarchs across the front. So super rare, 1945 Jackie Robinson U.S. Negro League wire photo. Okay, next up we have another one, a rare one, and I've never seen this one other than researching and finding this image on the internet. This one is a 1945 Kansas City Monarchs team photo. It's in really rough shape. The bottom quarter of it or so is almost completely missing. But the only team image, I believe, that I know of that pictures Jackie Robinson included as part of that team. And Jackie's sitting right here, where my finger's pointing. I'm not sure if you can make out the face, how good the contrast is in the image here. So 1945, Kansas City Monarchs posed on the ball field, type 1 photo with Jackie Robinson. Okay, above that we have another one of those I mentioned before. This was a team premium from the 45 Cuban Winter League season. And this one is the Havana baseball team. The same manufacturer, the same company produced this one as well, the Casino Company. And this one includes Pedro Formental, Cocaine Garcia, Terrace McDuffie, and Julio Rojo. So again, another one of the four Cuban winter ball teams from 1945, and a nice team premium image there. Okay, next page we have, it's actually two of the exact same photo, one of them being a real photo postcard, and the second one being a type 1 photograph. So I'm going to show you one and go over the names, and it's going to be the same thing for the other one as well. So this is 1945 Cienfuegos, which was one of the four Cuban Winter League teams again during that time period. And this one is most prominently going to picture Martin Dihigo during his 45-46 winter season there. It's also going to include Alejandro Crespo, Silvio Garcia, Adolfo Luca, and Luis Tiant Sr. So some pretty big names on this Cienfuegos team postcard. And then, like I mentioned, this is the exact same image. This is a more like an 8 by 10 type 1 photograph. Same team, same year, well, exactly the same image, just produced on a photographic paper as opposed to a postcard back. So that's going to wrap up today's episode on Negro League and Winter League baseball memorabilia. I got to see a couple of more Jackie Robinson items from his only Negro League baseball season in 1945. Several other Hall of Famers, Martin Dihigo, Raymond Brown, Buck Leonard, and two really cool photographs that were used to produce two of the Caramello Deportivo rookie cards from the 1945-46 set. So lots of interesting stuff. I hope you liked today's video. Have a great day, and I'll catch you guys again on the next one.